it's Christina from Redefine Creative, and I am here with a fun kind of summer story and process video for you. And I am playing with the Carta Bella En Vogue collection, and I do have links down below if you want to pick up any of the pieces that I am using today. And so I started with a piece of black cardstock that I want to be my background. And kind of my thought here was, I know I have a 4x6 photo, and so I wanted to create kind of a middle layout in the center of my 12x12 layout. And so I was trying to decide if I wanted that to be square or rectangular, and I decided I wanted it to be square. So I've cut my pattern paper to like 8x8. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and have that kind of mint color up at the top, and then a little bit of black in the middle, and then these dress patterns down at the bottom. And I matched up that mint and the black paper, since it's the same pattern, so that it looks like there's consistency in the overlap of the patterns. So where the mint color ends, or the light blue ends, the black begins. And so this particular collection I bought specifically for this experience. So this summer, or actually it started kind of in the spring, my daughter has really gotten into kind of drawing and fashion and kind of drawing clothes and outfits and different ideas that way. And so we found at our local art center that they were having like a 1-week summer camp on fashion design and kind of drawing and all that kind of thing. And so we definitely were super excited to get her signed up. And so part of being in that class, on like, I think it was the last day of class, it was a week long, the artist who was doing the class drew these like fashionista sketches of each of the girls that was taking the summer camp class. And so this is just a picture of the silhouette, or like the fashion drawing that he did of my daughter. Or she did, I should say she did, of my daughter. And my daughter was super, super proud of it. She thought it was the coolest thing. And so definitely we have to document that in her album. And so when this collection came out from Carta Bella, it was like absolutely perfect. So basically all I'm doing is I'm kind of creating basically 2 embellishment clusters. So I'm going to have one in that top left and one in the bottom right. So everything is very kind of square and linear, and then my embellishment clusters are going to extend off. And so as I was putting this together, I felt like I needed a little bit more of a bold kind of color, or a way to bring in that darker pink that's in this collection. So I went ahead and backed my 8x8 square in the center with that. And I really think that that helped kind of make it pop up off the page. And I'm going to bring that same element into my photo mat layers, just as another way to bring in that particular color. And so those are decisions that I kind of make as I'm going, if I feel like my layers need some extra definition. And then I'm just grabbing some of the pieces of ephemera that came in this particular collection. And so I've put some of them on dimensional adhesive, and some of them are just going to be flat. And then there's that piece that says Bonjour that looks like it's stitched, that I thought was super cute and needed to be part of this particular layout. Just, it feels very fashionista, I suppose you could say. And so I'm looking through, kind of flipping through the papers and the stickers and the ephemera pack, just kind of trying to decide where I want to go with the layout. So I kind of knew what I wanted the basic structure to look like, but from there I wasn't really sure. So I played around with this cut file. Where are my words lately, you guys? Oh my gosh. I feel like I haven't been making enough videos or something. Like, my words keep escaping me, and it's frustrating. Okay, so I go back to the ephemera and I pull out the little sunglasses, and then there's this little pink Bonjour, and I'm adding those things into each of the clusters. And I really like the lines on the photo itself. So the paper is kind of thumbtacked onto this board that was up on the wall. And I really liked the lines that created and where they are in this particular photo. So the whole time I'm working on this layout, I'm thinking about how I can kind of bring that element into the design of the page. I did go ahead and take a couple of pieces of paper out of my Happy Planner, and it has this edging that's like a black and white stripe, and then the notebook paper. And so I went ahead and put that behind both sides of my 8x8 square. And I really like the extra kind of texture and dimension that that adds. And it goes along really well with the feel of the photo itself. So definitely look at like your notebook stash or post-it notes or your happy planner stuff. Anything like that is definitely scrapbook worthy. So if you can incorporate some of those types of things into your pages, I think it looks really cool to add some extra, just a little bit different dimension with papers and things like that. So then I'm still at the point where I know I want to do something with the lines in the photo, but I'm not exactly sure what I want to do. So I'm just kind of playing around, and I take this little tag on the sticker sheet, and I spend a ridiculous amount of time trying to make sure that it looks perfectly right around the little push pin, so that it looks like it's hanging off. And I just put the year on it. So you can see a little better in the close-ups, but it looks like that little tag hangs right off of the push pin. And then I'm going to go ahead and use the lines that I talked about in that photo to line up the letters for my title. So I'm going to use this tiny little alphabet because I don't want it to overshadow my layout or the image on the photo. I want it to just look like it kind of naturally belongs along those lines. And so then on the top, I wanted to put the word camp, and I was putting it on top of the paper, whereas the other one is like on the paper itself. So then I move them all down, and I don't like that, so I move them all back up. Do you guys ever do that, where you put something down, you're like, nope, move it up here, nope, move it down here, nope, move it around? I do that a lot. And so I ended up moving it back to the top, and then I added this little piece that says adore. And I felt like I needed those letters to kind of be somewhere else on the layout, so I went ahead and just added the year down in that bottom corner. So now I'm kind of to the point where I'm thinking about the smaller embellishments. And I don't want there to be a ton because I feel like there's already kind of a lot going on. So I'm just going to grab some of these little puffy hearts, and I'm going to put a few in each of my embellishment clusters. And then I'm going to add just a couple up by my title where I have that little label tag. Only because I don't really have a third embellishment cluster, so I'm kind of considering my title to be an embellishment cluster. But most of my embellishments just kind of go on the diagonal, so I don't really have clusters per se going on, but I think it balances and it works. So that was a little bit of a scattered video, but that is how I have used the En Vogue collection. Make sure you click down below if you want to check it out, and I'll see you soon. Bye!